Hi there, Cheryl here with another Halloween card for you. And this one, I have a secret surprise that you're not going to get to see until we get to that part of the card. But here's the outside. It's got the spooky sky, and it's got boo. And I've glittered the blue, the boo, not the blue, with, this is the Nouveau glitter drops. And this is Midnight Sky is what I use, but we're going to use instead we're going to use some glitter. This came from Michael's and it was in the children's department. So they have ones like this with assorted glitters, or they also have the black glitter in the little plastic box type things. So I remembered I had this, and so I'm going to use this instead. So I'll be using my Designer's Dries clear adhesive with that. And I have my little scratchy sponge to put the adhesive on. And then I have this nice little tray thing that I bought, which is kind of handy to have. So that's how we're going to do it on the card. Because this was an afterthought to glitter it. So I put the Nouveau glitter drops on with a cat sitting in my lap. So somehow I managed to do that without getting cat hairs glued in also. But the inside, it looks like this. Da, 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 da. And I have a hovering bat, a nice gothic looking fence there, and a big full moon with spooky clouds and sky. And then I printed out with a font that I had, and this is actually Nightmare Before Halloween, it's called, and it says, "Wishing you a night that is so fun it's scary. Happy Halloween." So that'll go on the inside of the card, and we're going to add something else, my secret surprise, for the inside too. So this is fine just as it is, but then I have my secret surprise for you all. So this is what we're going to need. I got this nice little fence die on Amazon. And then I used the Layering Circles Framelits dies. The second to the largest circle is what we're using as for the mask for the moon. And then from the Spooky Sweets, I used one of the bats. I used the largest bat from that. And I have him already cut out here. We're not going to use this label. I just have everything to do with the bat stuck on here. And also a little piece of acetate or window sheet, whatever you want to call it, the clear plastic. And that's a piece. It's about 1/4 inch by, about 1.5 inches. About 1.25 inches. And that's gonna be for our bat to hover. I always have my Tombow glue handy. Of course, you'll need some scissors to cut your little bat out. And I also, when I stamped it, I inked in with my Stampin' Right basic black marker. I filled in on the little black areas on the bat because it's not meant to be a solid black, but I wanted it to be a solid black, except for, you see, it's got like little lines, but the black areas they do not stamp totally black, and I wanted that. You can skip that if you like, but we'll be using this stamp set. And so I've already got my gate cut out. I have my letters from Boo cut out. Those are both from basic black. I already did my sky for the front of the card to save some time. And you're also going to need 2 pieces of basic black cardstock that are 5.5 by 8.5. So this card is going to be, will be adhering those together, and it's going to become a Z-fold type of card. So there's my moon. I already have that stuck on. I used the repositionable tape on the back of my moon to hold it in place, and a piece of Whisper white cardstock, and we need actually 3 of these that are 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And we also need 3 pieces of Night of Navy. Well, this is one of them. This is the one that has the wishing you a night that's so scary. That's so fun it's scary. That I printed out on the printer. And then we also need 3 pieces of Night of Navy that are 5 by 3 3/4. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So let's do the boo first, because this is going to have to dry, and I'm going to have some cleanup here to do. So I'm going to take my Designer's Dries clear glue, and I'll do one letter at a time, and make sure you have them the right side up. And I'm just going to make a puddle of that. You know, do I have my... Let me see if I have my bit of... Ah, here it is. I have a small silicone mat. If I can get it out of the package. Here we go. I'm going to put it on... I'm going to put my glue on this. And that way I can just take it away when I'm done. I want a big old mess on my table. So, get myself a nice little puddle of the glue out here. And put my pin back in there so it doesn't dry out. And I'll also, before I start putting the glue on, I'll open up one of my little packets of black glitter. Have that handy. Oh, I didn't tell you what inks we're going to use too. We have the Memento Tuxedo Black, Blueberry Bushel, and Night of Navy. If you saw my hovering bats video, then it's basically the same as that. Is what we'll be doing. So let me get some of this glue on here. I'll just dab that on, get that covered real well. Okay. And put it over here in my tray. And sprinkle it with glitter. Okay, so the bee is sprinkled. Am I in the video at all? Okay. Let me move things over a little bit. Alright, so next we'll do the O. See if I have enough glue. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to put more glue out. I'll put that in the tray here. And sprinkle that with glitter. Oh, these are coming out really nice. Alright, now we have another O to do. And let me put the pin back in there. Always want to put your caps on your glue or your pins back in, whichever type of glue you have going there. As much as we spend on craft supplies, you really want to take care of of what you have. Okay, now it's just the exclamation point. Oh, and I used, oh, what is that alphabet Stampin' Up! Has for the letters. Any large alphabet would work if you have a different type of one. Ooh, the little dot keeps trying to get away from me. Stay there, little dot. Maybe I'll just put a little glue on the dot, just by itself. There we go. I need a little more on that part too, I do believe. Don't you love glitter? I have a sign in my craft room. It says she leaves a little sparkle wherever she goes. And that's definitely me, because I know I'll be finding this sparkle all through the house. Do 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 do. There's our little dot. Get that done, then we're all done glittering. Okay. So I'm just going to let these sit in the tray here and dry until we're ready for them. And I'll just get this out of the way. Put my glitter over there. Okay, so let's do the other messy part. See, I'm all glittered. Do the other messy part, and you do need a sponge. I neglected to tell you that at the beginning. And I prefer the makeup sponges. Now, when you're doing the front of the card, we want our clouds and skies to kind of go this way on it. So it'd be like this, but with no moon. Okay, so you want to sponge this way, on long ways on the card, but on the inside of the card it's going to be oriented this way. So we're going to sponge kind of across this way. And then that looks like some streaky clouds and whatever in your sky. Oh, that's Night of Navy. I don't want to start with that. I want to start with the Blueberry Bliss. Okay, so I got some nice ink in there. And I dab this off on the side. And I'm just going to come in. It looks like my sponge was a little damp yet, but that's okay. It'll be fine, just fine. Just get that all over. You don't have to be real good with your blending. You just need it. You just don't want it streaky. You want it kind of a scary, spooky sky. Okay, so that's the Blueberry Bliss, and I'm going to use the same sponge and move on to Night of Navy, which is okay because this is darker color, and I actually will dab that out in the same spot because these are all going to get mixed together anyway. So let's see. I want the top definitely to be darker. And more in the corners. I don't know why it always looks so nice to do it in the corners more, but all around the edges we need to go with the Night of Navy. And maybe bring a little bit in here. Okay, that looks like a good spooky sky. It's coming along nice. And we're going to add a little bit of the black around the edges. And again, I'm just dotting it up, blotting it off here in that same spot, because it won't matter if the little Night of Navy gets mixed in there. And just darken it up around the edges and the corners real well. And we'll bring a little bit of the black in. Okay. Now while we still have that out, I'll take my clouds and give ourselves some nice spooky clouds. And, oh, I need to take my moon off. And I'll have one down here coming in. And I think one up high here. And you notice I turn my stamp around, so it's not going to be exactly the same for both the clouds. They won't look like cookie cutter clouds. And that's our background for our bats. Now let's see, what did I do with the one? Oh, there it is. That's for the front of the card. So let's put those, all these white pieces. And I do need to clean my table up, because these, it won't matter if I get some of the blue on them, but the one with my sentiment, I do not want to get that ink on there. So let me grab a baby white and we'll just wipe that up. And do my fingers too. Because I did get ink on my fingers. I'm not happy unless I have ink on my fingers. Okay. So bring this back in here. And this one can go right onto, the front one can go right onto our piece of Night of Navy. I'm going to use Tombow glue for that. That will give me a little bit of time to get that in position. So I have nice even borders. Okay, so that one's done. This one, I need to put my fence on. So let me bring my little sponge and my silicone mat back in here. I'm going to flip it over, use the other side, because there's glitter on that side now. And get myself a nice little puddle of my the art glitter Dries clear glue. Don't want to use the Tombow, because if you get the Tombow somewhere we don't want it on this fence, then it's going to dry sticky and your card's going to stick together. Okay, so I got a good amount of glue on there. Now I'm going to bring in my piece that has the moon. Get rid of this again. And I'm going to just line that up with the bottom. And I want to try to get my design, my fence design, kind of centered in here too. So there, that's stuck on. And we'll just trim this off. I'm leaving what little bits of my scrolls, I'm just leaving that on. You see here on the edge I have a little bit showing. So I'm just going to leave that on. Okay, so now we have our fence. And we can glue that with the Tombow onto the piece of Night of Navy. Da, 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 da. Okay, there's that piece. And one more. And this is the one with the sentiment that gets adhered to a Night of Navy also. Get that lined up nice. And while we have the glue out, I'm going to glue my two card pieces together. So you want one going this way, and you want one going that way. And we're going to just glue those together like so. So I'm going to take this one, I'll flip it over. Put Tombow on it. And just, I find it easiest to line them up, to hold them up like this, tap them on the table, tap them on the sides here, and then there, that's ready. So I'm going to let everything dry just a little bit. I definitely want my Boo glitter dry, and then I'll be right back and we can put the card together, and we're getting closer to my little surprise bit in the video. Hey, I popped back in just for a minute because we need to put our bat on. So this is my little piece of acetate. Let me see if you can see it. Probably not. I'm just going to take my thumbnail. I'm going to bend about 1/4 inch from the edge, and I'll just scrunch that down good. And then on the other end, the same direction, I'm just going to fold that one down also, about 1/4 inch from the edge, and push it down. So now I have like a little U shape. Okay, I hope you can see that. I'm going to use my designer's Dries clear. I'll glue one edge, one end to the bat. Just put a little bit of that on the part we folded down. And I put the fold up towards the head of the bat. Okay. And now I'm going to very carefully, because this is still wet. Of course, if you're doing this at home, you can let it dry and put a little bit of the Dries clear on the other folded down bit. And I'm going to put my bat on my card. I'm going to put him right here on the moon. That way when he folds down inside the card, he'll be inside the edges of the card. You always want to take that into consideration when you have something that pops up on the card. Okay, so I'm going back away for a little bit, and I'll be right back again. Okay, let's get this card together. Let me get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's do, we'll put our sentiment piece in first. I'm going to leave the bat till last. Alright. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're going to use some dimensionals too. Alright, I just want to center this on the inside of the card. Actually, we're not going to use dimensionals. You know what I'm going to use? I have a little bit of black foam. Where did I put that? There it is. I have a piece of black craft foam. I'm going to use this to put my letters on the front, because we're going to have that popped up a little bit. So let me put the sky for the front on. And I'm using a Tombow for this. Alright, remember, repositionable is always good. Okay, so there we go. So that's on. And then, oh, I got the new, let's see, what is this called? Take Your Pick tool from Stampin' Up. This is pretty cool. On this end, it's got a little sticky bit here. Let me pull this off. It's got a little sticky bit there, and you can make more of it come out as you need to. And it comes with an extra one, a refill one. And you can get those also separately if you use all your sticky ones up. And then it's got an end here. Look, it's got a small ball stylus and a little bit bigger ball stylus. Nice if you don't have any ball stylus sets yet. And then this one has, on one end, it's got a little spatula. And then on this end, it's got a pokey tool. And you can just put that in there and you just slide that in and twist, and it locks in place so it doesn't fall out. I'm going to use the little spatula one to get my letters out of my tray here. But just in case they're not totally dry, I'll tap them off a little bit so I don't have too much wandering glitter. Those out, and my exclamation point here. And my last little bit here, my little dot. Okay. Now I have to figure out how to get that back into that, all that glitter back into that little baggie that it came in. Alright, so I'm just going to take my scissors. Let me grab my scissors, and I'm going to cut myself a strip of this, just a very narrow strip, and I'll be using this on the back of my letters. Let's see, you need a little bit for the B part. That's good for the B. And let's see, some pieces like that for the O. You can see I'm being very precise about this. Not. I can always trim them down. Let's see, I can put that little bit on the back of the bottom of the exclamation point. And I need just a little bit more. Let's see. Where should I cut? Where should I cut? Here we go. I'll cut here. And that should be good for the exclamation point. So we'll just glue those all on the back. You could certainly use dimensionals. I'm just using things I have here. And I think I'm going to use the Dries clear for this, just in case I get glue somewhere I don't want it. And just glue all these little bits on. So I just run a line of this glue right down the piece of foam. And put that on the back of the B. And you know what? I'm thinking you all don't need to be watching this. Put some glue on that bit. Put that there. So I'm going to stop the video again. I'm going to finish putting my little black pieces of foam on here. I should have done that when I was away before, but I didn't think of it. So I'll be back. Okay, so I have all my little bits of my black craft foam glued on. I'm starting to put my letters on. So it's just a matter of putting a little glue on the craft foam on the black back of the letters and putting them in place here on the card. Save the hardest one for last. This little dot can be a little booger to put on. Let me put that on there. There we go. So now that's all on in place. Pretty, huh? I like that even better than mine. Mine looks dull and boring now compared to this black glitter. Oh. I noticed that the exclamation point and the dot didn't line up quite right. Let's see. Do I need more glue? No. There we go. That's better. Okay, so now we can glue this part in. Going back to my Tombow. Putting that in place. And that will go like this on the card. So that when you open it up, then they can actually display it like this. You see? That was my thought of making this a Z card. And now for my super secret surprise. I have this jaunty fellow to put on in the inside. And he's going to pop up too when you open the card. That's why I've left a little space here at the top. So I have a piece of the acetate window, or window sheets, whatever you want to call it. And this piece is about, let's see, that's about 1.5 inches and another 2 inches, so about 3.5 inches. And then I've folded one end down 1/2 inch, and then on the other end I folded it down about 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. So you see how that is on this end? I hope I'm catching the light so that you can see it on the video. And then this one just has one fold down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going on the one that has the one fold down with my Designer's Dries clear glue. I'm going to put some on the bottom and try to center this as best I can, and just inside the fold I'm going to glue that down. Now you could use just plain cardstock for this. I just like to use this, the designer's paper, or the acetate, because you can't see it. Okay, so then when we want this closed, so what we want to do, we want to fold this down, and you want to fold your 2 1/2 inch sections down. I'm going to put in the center here. Don't get it too close to the edges because you don't want that seeping out. We're going to take our card and we're going to fold it down in place. Just like that. And it's going to be glued in the perfect place for our pop-up. Okay. So now I'll open this up. Oop. And no, it's not. It didn't stick. Okay. Let's do that again. Do. Let's see if it's stuck now. No, it did not stick. Well, fooled me. Okay, well, I kind of know where it's supposed to go. I'm going to stand my card straight up like this. And I'm going to take my little end there, the acetate I'm trying to glue on there, and I'm just going to hold that in place. I know why it's not sticking. Because I don't have enough glue on there. And it's trying to get where the gate is, or where the fence is. Okay, so stand it up again. So I needed more glue. It's all fun and games till the adhesive runs out. That's another little sign I have in my room. Okay, so while I'm holding that in place and waiting for that to dry, I'm going to put some of my Designer's Dries clear glue on the long part of this. And I can take my jaunty little fellow. By the way, I found this. To find this thing, just Google skeleton coloring pages, and you'll find it very easily. He's must be very popular because he's always up near the top when I've checked it. And I colored him in with some colored pencils. You can use whatever medium you want to color him in. But okay, so I found him on Google, and I clicked on the image, and that made it into a little bit bigger thing. I did a copy image on that. A copy image. Open up a Word file, a brand new Word file, and paste him in there. And if you do if you click on that image in the Word file, you'll notice little tiny boxes will show up in the corners of the image and on halfway on each of the sides. So top, bottom, right, and left. And so grab one of those little corners and drag it in until you make this fellow the size you want him. I went for about 3.5 by 3.5 for my card. So you can make them smaller, you can make them bigger. Of course, it distorts a little bit, but that's where I got this guy. So now I'm going to try to center him on the card here. And I'll hold him in place in the back here. It's a little fiddly, but so worth it. This fella is so cool. Look at him. So there he is. There he is on the card. So let's see. Oh, my little bottom bit of it popped off. Let me put that back down. This is terrible having to wait so long for this to dry. Okay, so now I can fold my card up. Let me fold my back. And we have our really cool, let's see if it sticks together. I definitely am having a problem getting things to stick this video. So there's my boo on the front. And then you open it up. And I'm doing this very carefully. And there we go. So we have our pop-up, and he's not sticking on the bottom. Okay, well, I can fix that. I'll put a little more glue on there and he'll be good to go. So, is that not cool though? Matter of fact, if you wanted to, you could just do him like the bat, I guess. But I want him attached on the bottom. Let me do that while I've still got the video going. I'm going to move him up just a little bit. Let me take him off. I'm going to take him off and put this back on. And there we go. And then I'll put him on. There. Then I really need to let this all dry. So here we go. There's our card. But really, it will fold all up. I tried this before. I tried this on a little separate card, but I wanted it to be a big surprise, and it's actually more of a surprise to me because he's not behaving. So there's the card. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more of my videos, then be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. If you like this video, even with all the problems I was having, getting good old George the skeleton here attached. I don't know why I think of him as George, but I do. Then hit that like button. If there are any Stampin' Up! Products you'd like to purchase, then that would be wonderful if you used me as your demonstrator, and you can do that either through my blog or my Facebook page. So, y'all have a wonderful Halloween. Wishing you a night that is so fun it's scary. So take care, stay safe, and happy stampin'.